Hi again, everyone. I'm Caroline, and today we get to start talking about another way of showing space in our art. I want you to imagine looking down a straight path that seems to go on forever. How does the path appear to change as it gets farther away? A curious thing occurs, doesn't it? Today we'll explore this interesting effect and how it helps artists create depth in their drawings. By learning how to use this technique, we can make our drawings look much more realistic. Let's take a look at these two artworks. They're very different artworks. They're from a different time and place with a different style and subject. But they do have something in common. Think about what you see. Travel all the way back in your mind to the element of line. Do you see a similar use of line in these paintings? Perhaps implied lines? Where do you think these lines are going? In today's lesson, we are going to learn about the very skillful technique used to create space in both of these artworks called one-point perspective. So, where are these implied lines going? They all seem to be reaching the same area, converging at a similar spot. This is called a vanishing point. Have you ever heard of a vanishing point before? In one-point perspective drawings, the vanishing point is where everything seems to disappear into the distance. You can always find the vanishing point sitting on the horizon line, the line that falls horizontally at your eye level. The vanishing point helps us make our pictures look like they have depth and go on forever. So if you ever want to draw something like a road, train tracks, or a hallway that looks very real and stretches out far, you'll use a vanishing point to show where everything comes together in the distance. Let's check out a few other images with vanishing points and see if you can spot their location. Pause the video and draw in the implied lines you see converging at the vanishing point in your PDF. Try to also draw in the horizon line. Here are just a few of the lines that converge. Did you find these and others? These converging lines actually have a technical name. They're called orthogonal lines. Let's do a quick review of the three main terms that relate to one-point perspective. The horizon line, which represents the viewer's eye level. The vanishing point, which is the point on the horizon line where lines appear to converge and disappear. And orthogonal lines, which are the lines that lead to the vanishing point. A great and simple way to understand how to use one-point perspective is to practice by drawing 3D boxes. Let's draw together with Natasha in the space provided in your PDF and practice one-point perspective by drawing boxes. We'll draw 3 boxes. One above the horizon line, one on the horizon line, and one below the horizon line. Ready? Get a pencil and a ruler and let's get started.
First, let's draw our horizon line. This is a line across your paper that represents where the sky meets the ground. A horizon line is a horizontal line. Next, let's put a small dot on our horizon line. This is our vanishing point. It's the point where everything seems to disappear into the distance. It could be anywhere along the horizon line, but for this exercise, let's go a little to the right to make room on the left for our drawing. Now, let's start with the box above the horizon line. Draw a square above your horizon line on the left side of the vanishing point. Got it? Awesome. Now, what will we see if the box is above the horizon line? Could we see the top? Think about it. Can you see the top of your refrigerator? Let's see what our cube will look like. Begin by drawing straight lines from each corner of your box to the vanishing point. Only draw from the corners where the lines will not overlap the box. Here's what I mean. You wouldn't draw a line from this corner because the box blocks you from seeing that edge. Do you see how the box starts to look like it's going into the distance? To finish the box, draw ending lines that are parallel with the original edges of the square. Now you have a 3D box above the horizon line. Next, let's move on to the box below the horizon line. Draw a square below your horizon line, staying on the left side of the paper. What sides of the box do you think will be visible? If something's on the ground, can you see the bottom? Now draw straight lines from each corner to the vanishing point. Again, only draw the lines that will not go through the square. Notice how this box looks like it's sitting on the ground? Finish it by cutting off the sides with lines that are parallel to the original square. Nice! Your second box is complete. Let's finish off with the box on the horizon line. Draw a square that sits right on the horizon line, still staying on the left side of the paper. Now we will draw lines from each corner to the vanishing point. You'll notice that this box looks a bit different because part of it is above and part of it is below the horizon line. Notice that with this box, you'll only be able to draw 2 lines. This is because you can only see 2 sides of the box. You can neither see the top nor the bottom. Cut off the long sides with a line parallel to the square, and there's your 3D box.
Look at your drawings! You've just created boxes in 1-point perspective, each in a different position relative to the horizon line. You can see how the vanishing point helps us make things look like they go into the distance. Isn't that cool? In your PDF, you'll notice that there is a page included with some additional squares added to the page. Pause the video and try to make these 3D by taking each to the vanishing point. Here's the finished example. Compare your sheet to this one and evaluate your progress. Drawing in perspective is challenging, but you can create some really good illusions of space once you figure it out. Great effort today! There are more practice opportunities in the PDF that will walk you through drawing both a simple interior and exterior scene with 1-point perspective. Have fun, and remember, art is all around you.
Hey.